Okay, I have here a Yuema 750. Here's the key. And I'm going to lock it back up and show you that the core is fully rotating. So we're locked. Got quite a few tools here. We're going to start. There's a little piece of rubber here where I just carved a few grooves in, straight lines. I'm going to insert that like this. It's a very tight fit, is the idea. It's going to take a little bit of time to get it in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna push it. There's a little bit of a notch at the front that I'm gonna push it right past. Okay. That's in, but not quite centered, so I'm gonna use some tensioners on the sides and just center that up. Next, I've got some more tensioners. I'm going to put these two underneath and slide them all the way back. And I think I felt them. There's a notch in the back that they just settled into. Okay, so I've got some upward force. I'm centered. Let's see if that worked out. I want to make sure that I can fit flags on either side. They can freely move, and that I can access the wafers without too much problem. Okay, I think I'm good on the left. Pretty good on the right. Okay. Now we can start picking. I want to keep the core rotated straight up throughout the whole process. Okay, I've got the first wafer on the right. They're in pairs, so 6 rows, 12 wafers total. And just manipulating the first row. Now the second. A lot of friction on both sides. I'm waiting, I'm pushing until I feel a little bit of give. They might not be completely set, but moving in the right direction. Okay, we got row 3 here. Row 4. Okay, I'm now at row 5. And the last row is row 6. All right. So that was one pass. I'm going to do a few more. Want to keep things straight. And back there on the first lever, first wafer, it helps to work these guys in pairs because then you can have opposing force, and it helps make sure that the core doesn't rotate. Not perfect, but it helps. Okay, so I have a few problem sliders. And we need to apply some more force to. So way in the back, 5 on both sides. Needs a lot more movement. Also, 3 on the right. Get that right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 3 on the right. And number 1 in the front. On the right. I'm going to try to act on these guys all at once. Without rotating. Don't like it when I rotate. Could have easily knocked something out with that. So I'm going to try to keep it as steady as possible. I think the sidebar's dropping a little, but I think I must have reset a few things along the way. So I'll take another look and be a little more careful. Five still needs some help, although the left side's not too bad. Four feels set. Three is not good. So that really didn't help me. to reset a bit. I really worry that I overset one on the left. I'll start in the back this time. Well, I'm worried about all the same levers. So let's try again. Five on the right. Five on the left, I mean. One on the right. Three on the right. It's one of my most concerning ones. And five on the right. Okay. Let's see if that did any better. 5 is still not set on either side, but it's pushed a fair bit in. Four, in contrast, feels set. Oh, 3 feels a lot better now. That was some real progress. Good. Two was reset a little. Not terrible, but clearly not right. And 1's always a problem. All right, I think that's improved. So let's see, I'm worried about 5 on the left. Worried about 1. And let's skip 3 and do 5 on the right. I lost 1. Just slipped off. It's really a lot of pressure that those springs put on when they're fully compressed. Okay, here we go. And we lost. We lost 3. We lost 3 and we overset 1. I'm really trying to focus on 3 here. That might have actually worked. So I'm resetting 2. Giving 3 a little encouragement. I'm not going to touch 1. Don't want to overset that again. And let's see now if we can go 4, 5, 1 on the right. And 5 on the right. All right, I'm binding hard. Sidebar's really dropping. Something still isn't there. Before I jump to 3 again, let me test a few things. All right, 1 clearly still has problems. And I think 1 on the right is going to be the last one to set here. It's not 2. 2 feels pretty good. Yeah, it's 3. It's definitely 3. 4 is set. 5 is still problematic. That's probably gonna go at the end with 1. 6 is set. I don't want to overset 1 on the left, but I'm just gonna do a quick visual. It doesn't look like it's overset, so I'm gonna leave that be. All right, so the challenge here is I need to get 3 without screwing everything else up while still having the sidebar helping me. So I'm going to be careful not to rotate. I'm going to get in there with 3. I don't really know how to get it through here. It's gonna hit the left side because I think I need to get it all the way over. I'm gonna try going a little more slowly than I did before. Let me just get this one placed. 6, 5. Okay, there we are. All right, slowly. Okay. There we go, hitting 3 hard. Binding hard. All right. Gently take things out. Not even gonna try for 1. Gonna ignore it from here on out. But 2 is probably reset. Yep. The left side of 2 reset. Hopefully that's the only reason I wasn't open. I mean, I barely even want to touch 3 in case it's right there. But I need to at least check the left-hand side. Actually, it's pretty good. Four. 5 and 6. Yep. We've got a pretty consistent pattern going here. Lost 1. Nope. Try and isolate 3 a little bit better. We're open. Wow, that was rough. Crazy. All right. Wow, long video. Kept on going in circles on that one towards the end. Well, let's, we got some more work to do. Now, clearly, the lock is unlocked. The hard part here is taking out my little piece of silicone rubber. And I've got a broken key extractor here, which I have to confess is one of the first tools I ever got in Locksport. Probably one of these cheap Amazon kits. And it's the first time I'm ever using it. All right. Well, almost came out in one piece. There we are. And, okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna lock the lock back up here. Okay, and you can see the key still works. I'm gonna get a little bit of camera movement, so let's undo the focus, zoom out a tad. Now, okay. have noticed, but I've already destructively gut this lock, and we're going to do a full gut, but we're barely holding together here as I cut it in half. So I'm just going to put that right down on the side. Move the vise out of the way. And got a little bit of a stand here that will help us. Okay. All these tools, let me get all these tools out of the way. And finally, I've got a gutting tray. Just going to put this down right here and get the lock over. And how's the lighting? It's probably pretty good, right? Okay, so first things first, what did I do to this poor thing? Well, I definitely got some advice from other veteran Yuema pickers, but what I did is two things. One is obviously I cut around here, and the other is I cut out a retaining pin here. So this piece comes off, okay, and then there's a cap here, and the core comes out. Okay, there's the cap, there's the end, and then, oops, this is just a little drill plate that sits on top in the front of the lock. And this is part of one of the shackle springs that came out. And then I'll just show you the lock body real quick. There's nothing really in there. What might be of interest is, here are some of the casualties of cutting this open. I have some of the rest of the shackle spring. And this little guy is, maybe you can see it like that. That's the pin that held the core in place. It went through the lock body, through this hole in the cap, and then into this groove in the core, holding the whole thing in place. Okay, so we're gonna gut the core, and to starters, I'm gonna take this tail piece off, and so there's a little bit of a C-clip here that needs to be bent slightly to come out. Let's see if that was enough. Almost. Maybe try a screwdriver. Let's see if this will be better. That's got it. Okay. So there's a little clip on the top, and then there's a spring. And this little piece here at the back of the actuator when it works the shackle. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to use the key to unlock it. And you can see reverse sidebars. So when the key goes in, both sidebars have dropped in so that the inner core is bound to the sleeve. And so now both the inner core and the sleeve turn, which turns the actuator. That's how the lock works. And this little pin here is holding the sleeve in. So I'm going to remove that. Okay, and now I've 3D printed this follower that is precisely sized to make that much easier than it otherwise needs to be, because can be, because there are two very tiny caps and springs in here which are the entirety of the force pushing down in the sidebar, and we'll get those later. But let's first get at the core. You can see the outer sidebars there. I'm just going to drop that out. Okay, now that the outer sidebar is out, the sleeve will separate from the inner core. You can see nothing really going on in the sleeve. It's just that groove where the outer sidebar can sit. And the inner sidebar is right here. You can see there's a little bit of a indentation on the edge where that sidebar interacts with the wafers. And you can see all the wafers here all lined up. And they're actually, they're numbered, so you can see the bitting. There are notches on the side, on the left side and on the right side. And now we can just take them out. And the key holds them in, which is very convenient. But I'm going to be careful here because it's very easy to lose the springs. So I'm going to put my thumb over here. I'm going to start from the back and retract the key. And let's see, this one looks like it wants to move first. Okay. So there is, that's wafer 6 on the right. It's type 2. And that's paired with wafer 6 on the left. Which is also type 2. Got some springs here. So tiny, these guys. So tiny and so strong, especially when you have the max lifts. You really have a lot of force when they're fully compressed. So let's go to 5. Row 5. Remember, row 5 was giving me quite a bit of problems. And you can see why these are max lift. That's a type 1, which is a max lift on the left. And same on the right. See, that's also a type 1. All right, kick those springs out. Oh, they jump all over, huh? All right, let's see. Looks like I got 2 rows released there. That's fine. Okay, so this is row 4 on the left. It's type 3. And there's a spring. Got row 4 on the right. It's also type 3. And a spring. Okay. Let's see. Row 3 on the right is wanting to come out. Type 1 max lift. Oh boy, that was a pain, that one. Would not stay put. A lot of force. Let the key out. Okay, row 3. On the left, type 3. The springs. Oh boy. You saw that one, right? I think we got a jumper. Not quite sure where it went. I'll hunt it down later. Okay, row 2 on the left. Oh, let's see, that's type 2. Get the spring. Row 2 on the right. Okay, that's also type 2. The spring. Let's see, I think the right side wants to come out first. Big problematic. Row 1 on the right, it's a max lift, type 1. Let's get the spring out. Okay. And let's see. Row 1 on the left. Spring came out here. That's type 3. Okay. Then we're left with the core. Let me just see if that spring is still in the box. I don't think so. I think it jumped out. Yeah. No worries. I'll waste video time running that spring down. But these two are important. So in the housing here, should let me come at it from this end. These aren't driver pins, but I'm treating them like it. you can see there's a right there. That's where the sidebar pressure is applied. So I'm going to take my tweezers and show you. There is the cap. It's hollow in the back. Okay, and there's a spring in there. See if I can get that out carefully. Okay, that's the sidebar spring. And there's a second one further down. I'm probably going to want to come at it from the other end. Yeah, you can see it's right there. Oh, here we go. That went on the floor. But you saw it, right? And here's its spring. And that leaves us with the outer housing. Nothing really left going on there. And that is pretty much everything we have here. So, let's see. That cap is in an obvious place here. It's going to take a little bit of searching to find that one. Anyways, let me show you one more thing before I cut this video. It's long enough. The whole point here of this rubber thing, and you know, it's one piece, but with these 5 ridges cut in there. And the idea is that that lines up with these slots, so that when you stick this in and you push it up, it can go, these different segments can go deep into the chambers and apply a fair bit of friction to the sliders to dampen those springs. The other thing that was really important learning while opening this up is this notch in the back. And so when I use these tiny tensioners, I'll get them both actually, to apply the force and hold everything in place, I slid them in there, but they actually go straight through that piece at the end, and that really holds them in a much straighter position. So a lot of cool things to take advantage of once you see what's going on inside here. All right, that's it for the Yuema 750. Take care.